Hello, welcome to Scenario 1 of our Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion playthrough. If you saw the previous introduction video, you know that we were on our way back to the inn, ready to snuggle up in our warm beds and get a hot meal when we were ambushed by a group of vermling raiders. So here you can see Scenario 1 laid out. Here are our main characters here on the left, our vermling raiders scattered throughout the map here trying to, let's be honest, they're trying to dispatch us. And before we go ahead and get started into Scenario 1, I just want to go through and take a look at some of the components that are on the board here that you'll see so you can get familiar with them. We've already covered our character pieces. As far as the enemies here, you see the white and the yellow. The yellow enemies are veteran enemies. They're a little bit tougher. They will sometimes have special moves that they can do. For the sake of this introduction scenario, all of the characters' moves are pretty straightforward. They're going to try and move and attack, and that's pretty much what they're going to do for this scenario. As I had mentioned before, rules are slowly introduced over the course of each introduction scenario, and I'll do my best to cover those introduction of new rules as we proceed. On the right here, we see that we have character dials for each of our main characters. This shows their health and experience. For the sake of this scenario, health will factor in, but there will be no experience, just so we can slowly introduce and learn that as we go. These small decks of cards here are the hit modifier cards. Now, the way that combat works in this game is when you go to attack a character, you will take the base attack value and then you will flip it over. Whatever happens there on the card will either add or subtract from the base amount of damage that you're going to do. And in some cases, you can even completely miss or double down on the amount of damage that you're going to do. So it can really turn the tides of battle depending on your luck. On top of each character's move cards here, we have, or character cards, we have their move cards. Now for this introduction scenario, we're starting with the group of 6 basic moves. They're labeled A, as you can see. And what's going to happen on before each round, we're going to select 2 of these move cards, and we're going to pick a top and a bottom action. And we're going to perform those actions during the round. Now there you see there's a large middle number here. Now that is initiative. And what that tells us is the move order for all of our characters. Now the enemies also have an initiative. For this scenario, they're all going to move on initiative 50. And what happens here is as you select your 2 moves, you place one on top, and that is the initiative that you utilize. Now normally when you're playing with multiple people, you try and keep the initiatives and what you're planning on doing relatively secret. You don't make that common knowledge. Now, because I'm playing both characters, and obviously I will know what I'm doing, I'm really going to try and play as if the character would play a little bit of their personality, what I think that they would do in that given situation. So we've kind of talked about a little bit of their background, and we're going to flesh out a little bit of their story and play the game as if it was them and less about as if it's me. Now, these little name plaques up here will just help us keep track of that initiative. The small deck of cards here is the monster hit modifier. So just as the heroes have a hit modifier, the monsters do as well. Over here we have a various assortment of tokens and various hit markers to help us keep track of everything going on, if we have different status effects and whatnot, and we'll introduce more of those as the game goes on. Here is the villain or the enemy name card here. This lists their health, their movement, and their base attack. And we have a dial of numbers that each correspond to an enemy on the board, and that'll help us keep track of health. As they take damage, we will add it there, and that'll help us make sure that we're properly tracking damage. So that's pretty much covers all of the different components that you'll see here. Let's go ahead and get started and dive into scenario 1. All right, let's get into it. So the first thing that I've gone ahead and done is selected the move cards or the action cards for our heroes for this turn. So let's go ahead and flip these over and see what we've got. So the Demolitionist is going to act on initiative 20, and the Void Warden is going to act on initiative 43. So both of them are ready to just get this over with and get back to the end so that way you can get some rest. Again, as we mentioned, the Vermlings are going to act on initiative 50, and their move and attack set for this scenario is going to be pretty basic. So, our Demolitionist, what is he going to do? Well, he is going to move and then attack. He's going to move first so he can get in there. He's going to move 2 and then destroy one adjacent obstacle, and if he does, he's going to strengthen. Well, there's an obstacle right here on the board. So 1, 2, boom, destroy that obstacle. Punches it with his big old fist. That is now nothing but rubble, and he's going to get strengthened. So there's a little strengthen icon. Put that right there by him. And what that means is that he is going to get advantage on all of his attacks until the end of his turn. Now, he's now going to attack. So we picked the bottom action from this card and the top action from this card. One adjacent enemy suffers 2 damage plus a modifier card. And the same or different, well, we only have one that we're about to punch in the face. This again suffers another damage with an additional different modifier card. So, boom, socks him right in the nose. -1. So our first attack is only going to do 1 damage. Punch him again. Oh, wait, take that back. We have advantage. Advantage means we draw 2 cards, take the better of the 2, +1. So that means 3 damage. Let's see what the next hit does. We will draw 2 more, and again, another +1. So in total, he is going to do 5 damage. And what that does is if we check the health on this raider, boom, he is out. He is deceased. We will put a little skull and bones marker. That usually denotes something else. And later in the game, you'll see that as enemies are killed, they drop coin. But we haven't introduced that mechanic here for this first scenario. All right. Now, our Void Warden was planning on backing up his friend here, but his friend didn't really need much help. So we won't be using our attack card because, again, he's already took care of business. But the original plan was to force our ally to attack for an additional 4 damage. But instead, we're just going to go ahead and move 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll stand over here at the side. Now for the bad guys. We take these cards now and we put them in our discard pile. We can't use them again until we take a short rest. We'll talk about short rests here shortly. Bad guys here are going to move their base move value, which is 1. And they're always going to try and get close to us. This guy's going to come around here, try and flank us here. This guy will just move close. Now, none of them are within range to attack, so there's no attacks this turn for them. Now, go ahead. We're going to start round 2. All right. Ready for round 2. We've got our hero move cards lined up. Again, the bad guys here are going to move on initiative 50. And let's proceed. So the higher initiative is the Demolitionist here. He is not happy. He's just ready to get this over with. So we're going to move 4 to here to get in the mix. 1, 2, 3. He is coming right for the veteran. And then we're going to attack 3 and muddle. Now his turn, his end of last turn is over. He no longer has strengthen, but he is going to muddle the bad guy here. And what that means is that they gain disadvantage on all of their attacks. So we're going to muddle him. Boom. And let's draw a modifier for this attack. This is doing 3 damage. Oh, +2. 5 damage to the veteran. There goes half of his life. Just like that. Right to the schnoz. Number 2, 3, 4, 5. Big hit. That was nice. We needed that. Get him out the way. And now he'll gain disadvantage on all of his attacks. So that is his turn. Now, the Void Warden here, his initiative is 89. So actually the bad guys are going to go first. These guys, again, They're just going to try and get a little closer, starting to get in there and attack us and see if they can hit us back. Now we're going to have an attack from the veteran on the demolitionist. Now the veteran is doing 2 base damage. Let's draw from his modifier deck, but he will have disadvantage because he is muddled, so that means we're going to draw 2 and pick the worst. -2 and +0, -2. Look at that. Our demolitionist just whoop skirts out the way. No damage to him. Fantastic. Love to see that. All right, Void Warden's turn. What is he going to do? Well, he wants to help his buddy out. He is going to 1 ally within range 3. 1, 2, 3 here. May perform an attack of 3. Now, if they do suffer 1 damage, but you know what? It's worth it. We've got 8 health. We haven't been touched. We're going to take the 1 damage, drop us down to 7, and we're going to attack the veteran, see if we can knock off some more health here. It's a base attack of 3, and we use our demolitionist modifier deck. +1, 4 damage, bringing the total up to 9 damage. 9 damage. You know what we'll do is we're going to place a little 1 here to let us know he only has 1 health left. He is on the brink of death. That is fantastic. Let's see. Next, so we did the top action, or we did the bottom action here. We'll do the top action. 1 ally within range 3. We will do our demolitionist again. We'll attack 2 for a range of 3. Now, I would love to see us get this veteran knocked out. I'm going to see if we can soften up this other guy here. He's within range 1, 2, 3. Obstacles do not block line of sight, but you do have to have line of sight to perform a ranged attack. So this is a base attack of 2. Let's use our allies modifier to see what we get. 2 times. Now, in each modifier deck, there is 1 2 times card and 1 miss card. When you draw these cards, it can really sway the battle here, but we do have to shuffle now the modifier deck. So let's resolve damage, and then we'll shuffle that modifier deck. So 2 times on 2 is 4 damage. They've got 5 health. That's a big hit. 3 and 1, 2. Let's see, that is bad guy number 3. So he's hurting. He's almost dead. That'll leave us 1 guy left. Let's pop these in the discard pile, and we will shuffle up the hit modifier deck for the demolitionist. All right. So at this point, we only have 2 action cards for each of our heroes left. So not much of a choice here. We'll go ahead and slide those into the active spot. There you go. Void Warden and Demolitionist. Go ahead and let the Demolitionist go first. He's the muscle. He's going to take care of some business. He's ready to get this over with. All right. So, round 3. We will take the Demolitionist here. Let's see, what do we have? Well, let's first, no longer muddled. That was only till the end of the turn. We can stun and we can attack. We can attack for 3. You know what? We will attack for 3 and then we will move for 3 because we're going to hopefully take care of this guy real quick right here and knock him out. So we will attack for 3. Let's draw from the modifier deck. -1. That's okay. 2 damage. He only had 1 left. Boom. He's out of the picture. Hasta la vista. See you later. Now we're going to go ahead and move 3 hexes. 1, 2, and 3. Getting right in there. He is not wasting his time. He's going to go punch this hurt guy in the face next round. Let's see what we have for our Void Warden. How can the Void Warden help here? We've got a move. We've got a force 1 enemy, but however, the enemies aren't adjacent. At least they probably will be after they move, but not right now. So that doesn't help us. So let's see. We can attack 3, range of 3, and we can move 3, muddle. somebody within range. So we kind of got a choke point here. I can't move through these, but you know what? I'm going to move to support my friend here. I don't want to be too far out of the action. I don't want to get too far away from him. 1, 2, and 3. And we will muddle somebody with a range of 3. Well, I don't want to risk my buddy here taking too much damage. So we will muddle that guy in front of him to help him out. And then we will attack 3 with a range of 3. I feel like, I would probably, if I'm the character, I'm trying to support my friend, even though I know he's low on health, I'm going to try and knock him out the way so that we can keep going, we can get back home. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and attack this guy. He's got 4, he's only got 2 health left. So it's an attack of 3. Let's pull from here, see if we can knock him out. -1. That's still enough. 2 damage. Boom. He's out of here. Leaving one guy all by his lonesome. He's probably freaking out right now. Not sure what he's going to do, but he's not quitting. He's not a quitter. He moves in. He's going to try and attack. He's going to try and avenge his friends. Time for the next round. However, before we can take that next round, we've got to take a short rest because we are all out of action cards. So what a short rest does is you shuffle up your action cards here. And then at random, you select one that you lose for the rest of the scenario. So let's see what we get here. And we'll go with this guy. All right, so we have lost Explosive Blitz for the Demolitionist. We lose that for the remainder of the scenario. Let's see, do the same for the Void Warden here. The cards don't want to shuffle. Alright, and we will pick this guy. Suggestion. We have lost Suggestion for the Void Warden. Alright, so we'll go ahead and select our move cards for the next round for each of our characters, and we'll get this over with. I'm ready to get in the inn, get in our beds. All right, we are ready for this hopefully final round. So let's get into it. Again, Demolitionist, he's ready to go. He is just cannot wait to get this over with. He can almost taste the soup in his mouth, ready to be back at the inn. We're not within range, so he's got to run over there, punch this guy in the face. So that's exactly what he's going to do. He is going to move 2, only 1, and this is the move that we had used before, destroy 1 adjacent obstacle. He's going to punch that fence right out the way with his piston fists, destroying it, but this is going to give him some strength. So we're going to take that strength. Boom. He is now strengthened, which means he gains advantage on all of his attacks because he's about to punch this last bad guy in the face for 3. So we're going to draw 2 modifier cards, use the best. Boom, boom. Not great, but that's okay. +0, better than a -2. 3 damage to the remaining bad guy, number 1, right there. All right, Void Warden's turn. Boom. We are going to attack for 3 at a range of 3. We can't let the Demolitionist have all the fun, can we? So let's see. Just draw 1 card. -1. So that's 2 damage, which is enough to do it. He's only got 5 health. Boom. He is out of here. We are back at the inn, ready to get this party started, ready to get some sleep. Maybe dancing. Who knows what we're going to get into. Conclusion. We've successfully completed this scenario. You wipe the blood of the last vermling from your face, and your thoughts return to the sleeping lion. Surely they've got a stew ready by now. It'd be so perfectly warm and soothing, and it's right through that gate. So close, you can already taste it. But then another thought comes. It is highly unusual, brazen really, for a pack of vermlings to operate this close to the city. Could they be behind the string of disappearances? It is a long shot, but one worth investigating, especially considering this ambush site doesn't look like their base of operations. There's probably a nest nearby. With any luck, we'll have more information on the missing blacksmith. And treasure. Treasure would be nice. So the rewards for completing this scenario is a new location, a hole in the wall. So you get a nice little handy dandy map here of Gloomhaven. This is where our roadside ambush was, and now we're at the hole in the wall here, right on the outskirts of town. Try and figure out if they're behind all these disappearances. Well, thank you for joining me for Scenario 1. Look forward to seeing you next time. We'll go ahead and progress to Scenario 2. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and again, see you next time. Thank you again.